Welcome to the Hustle Baby Podcast, where I give entrepreneurs 15 minutes to show, grow, and let the world know about their small business. Today I'm hustling with Rick Fink Jr., stand-up comic, podcaster, and dad, in that order, who regularly performs at top Boston venues like Nick's Comedy Stop and the Comedy Scene at Gillette Stadium. Rick brings sharp wit and relatable humor to every stage. He's also the co-host of Small Town Scuttlebutt, a podcast that hilariously unpacks the overreaction of small town life, now celebrating its 5th anniversary and 250th episode. Let's get hustling. Richard, a.k.a. Rick Fink, how are you doing today?
You already messed it up, man. It's Rick Fink Jr. You got to stay on brand. Like rickfinkjr.com, my website. I'm already plugging it because this interview is a disaster. I think I'm going to start drinking.
we just started. Well, listen, happy that you are on the Hustle Baby podcast. We are actually in the Lion's Den, dare I say, the Small Town Scuttlebutt podcast room. That is where some of the magic happens.
I see what you're doing there.
Well, you like that?
I love innuendo. One of my favorite literary devices.
Some of the magic happens here. The other magic happens on stage where you perform as a comic.
Yeah, stand-up comic.
Yeah, moderately successful.
I want that in writing. I'm going to put that on, like, as an endorsement on that website, rickfinkjr.com. Moderately successful, Evan Walsh. Real estate tycoon.
Well, moderately successful real estate tycoon. Well, listen, you've been making me laugh for quite a while, and not just because of the way you look. It's really it's quality entertainment.
Yeah. Okay. Not everyone believes that. I had one guy email me saying, "I don't get your sense of humor." Like, that's not my problem.
It's not for everyone.
No, it's subjective.
Would you consider yourself a controversial human being?
No. Well, no. There's people that. Are we talking my personal life? I know this is like a Medfield-based show.
Sure.
And yeah, there's a reputation that precedes me because I used to do. I don't know. I'd rattle an echo chamber once and again on the social media.
Sure.
And a lot
outspoken? Would you say?
Sometimes, but a lot of times, just shenanigans. Yeah. You know, like I kind of care about what I'm writing about, but I'm just throwing in an alternative idea because that's not in this conversation, and without that, the conversation is a dormant, dumb one. So I just tried to make it interesting.
See, I think people have a misconception about you. This is what I've come to learn. People have a misconception about you. Yeah. And I think you eat that up. I think you love being the controversial sort of figure, even though I feel like you don't care, right? Like you don't care about the topic, but you love the fact that it creates a controversy. It's sort of like you pull the pin and then watch everybody.
No, I really don't care if somebody doesn't like it. In fact, you know what? Like Patrice O'Neill says, if you're not irritating at least a third of the room, you just suck as a comic. You're not daring. You're not crossing a line. You're not going in places. And, you know, the kind of demographic I go after, I pick on, the woke white woman. Doesn't have to work because her husband takes care of her, but she's going to spend her day fighting other people's causes and tell us how to, that's my wheelhouse. Yeah, I expect you guys are giving me observational humor cues that it's my job as a comic to go to the stage and discuss the obsession that we witnessed in our town.
Sure.
And that, and the irony, like, oh, we care about this, but not that.
How did you get into comedy? How did you know that this was something that you wanted to do?
I'm funny. I have
naturally funny.
I have that. There's a quick wit. Yeah. And I have ideas. I just kind of am always thinking. But one time in 7th grade, went over to a friend's house. No parents were home. We found a videotape. We put it in the VCR. We watched it.
Uh-oh.
Eddie Murphy delirious.
Oh, whew. I thought you were going in a different direction.
Nope. Eddie Murphy delirious. This tape changed my life.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was like, that guy's an alpha. Look at him. He is so awesome.
Yeah.
He is so confident, and he's got this room, this auditorium wrapped around his finger. They're eating everything he's feeding them. And I thought that was so cool. I've never seen somebody just so with it, you know?
He was the coolest guy.
Oh, man.
I mean, like during that period when he was
Beverly Hills Cop.
Unbelievable.
Axel Foley, yeah. So, the material, no, actually it was 6th grade, which is pretty young. You're like, what, 12? About, I don't know.
What was it? What was that? 88?
Yeah. So there's subject matter that it's too mature for me. But I took the school bus on the Heights in Concord, New Hampshire. Like I'm hanging out. Yeah. I got an education on the school bus early. I understood all the references and everything. And while I maybe hadn't experienced these things, I get it. And delivery was important. Like I'm look at how everything he was doing. I had the tape. Somehow I got the tape. Listen to that. I memorized a 45-minute. Yeah. I memorized it better than I memorized my own material that I write.
Yeah, I think most people did because you watch it so many damn times.
It's like a song. Yeah. It turns into a song you can just sing along to.
So, where I know that obviously you got into comedy. Where did you kind of get your start? Where would you say you got your start?
Well, I did an open mic. I had 5 minutes at Improv Boston, ironically in Cambridge, off of Mass Ave.
So you decided you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, and I had a friend that used to do it.
Okay.
He gave it up. His name's Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
Not the Tim Dillon that you would look up and see now, but this guy was a feature comic in Boston about 15 years ago, and I went to all of his shows. I was like, I should be doing this too, and it was like the feeling like I get when my father-in-law went skydiving and says, "Do you want to go?" And I said, yeah, but no way, Yeah. And so that was that. So, but I remember he quit. He says, "There's no room for mediocrity in this business," and really? I thought he was on the up and up and good. But
interesting.
Yeah. So,
but then you kind of took over. You're like, "This is what I want to do."
Yeah. I asked him. I said, "So what do you have to do?" He said, "Put 5 minutes together and go to an open mic." So I did that.
Yeah.
People laughed.
That's awesome.
People laughed, and I remember the adrenaline was like, it felt like I was on a breakaway. I used to play hockey.
Yeah.
I was on a breakaway, and it's me and this goalie who I own, and it's like 8 seconds left, and I go backhand on you again, Andy Haley, and then boom, we win the game. And it's that fist bump. Like I went out, I said, "Thank you, good night." I'm Rick Fink.
Yeah.
And I walk out, and I go like out of the auditorium, outside, down the alley, and then my heart's beating, and I just play it back on the phone, and I'm like, okay, that hit, that wasn't bad, all right, haven't embarrassed myself. Like that's one thing I don't want to embarrass. Like don't read the room. People can't sometimes don't know how to read a room. Yeah, you got to you don't have to finish this bit.
Yeah,
or you don't have to tell that one.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
so it's all fun. It's.
Well, and so how much you've gone from 5 minutes to where are you at right now?
I have 20. Wow. I'm ready to do, feature work, but right now, guest spots. I just got bumped by John Tobin Presents books a lot of the shows.
Yeah.
And they moved me from the comedy scene last Saturday. They put me out at Roar Comedy Club at MGM Springfield.
Okay.
And I opened that show.
Really?
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was my first time. There's so many firsts. That's why I get so anxious. Like the day of a first is a lot of me doing nothing. Yeah. It adds to the anxiety.
All right. So you started at 5 minutes. You've kind of worked your way up to 20. You could be a feature. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And what did you do? I've heard some rumors. Tell us about your Sunday nights in February. What was that all about?
Do I look like the kind of guy that hosts an open mic in a drag bar every Sunday night?
Do you really want me to answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with yes.
Oh, I do look like that?
Well, I mean, just because I have
because I'm an open-minded, cool guy. But no, I'm a dude. I'm a guy's guy. I watch sports. I watch football on Sundays.
Yeah.
But you go where the jokes and the opportunities are. You need stage time. It's the only place where you can get better. When you see a stand-up comic, you're seeing them doing their craft, and they're practicing something and performing to you at the same time. Like if you're going to a good paid show, that middle stuff is the newer stuff that's emerging. That's good. It's just got put in and it's still being tweaked. So it's always going to be followed up with a banger, you know.
And how were you received?
Great. You know, one time I didn't think it was great.
Yeah.
I felt like the reaction from the audience was of like high anticipation, raised eyebrows, big smiles. I felt like I was giving a really like engaging TED talk on like the technological advances in taxidermy. Like I couldn't get them over the hump. So I sent the tape to the booker. I said, "Hey, did I bomb your room?" And they said, "No, that's just a quiet room."
Oh, all right.
It happens sometimes, you know. It happens.
But other times you've just like been on fire.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Jim Gaffigan. I listened to him tell a joke. It was a story arc about just taking his kids from a fifth floor walk up in New York City down to the street, over 2 blocks to a playground. All the hijinks and ballyhoo that ensued. He's telling that story arc with a setup and a punchline, a setup and a punchline, setup and a punchline, and he's landing these things every 7 seconds. I know this because I study this stuff, and I pulled over, and I got out the phone, and I was watching the timer. I'm like, 7, 14, 22. You're losing it, you know. I was like, wow, this guy is killing it. If I can get a house laugh every 15, 20 seconds, I'm happy. And you know, for where I'm at.
Is your type of humor, would you say it's like more long and drawn out? Is it more punchy? How would you describe it?
Long and drawn out is there's no, you got to be quick. You got word economy.
Okay.
That's what, you know, it's funny on our podcast, I take things for a walk. I mean, it's a slow burn. It's kind of like I'm open micing it. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about on the podcast makes its way onto the stage. You know, we're working stuff out and but when you're on the stage, you want to be tight. You know, you don't have to give more information. Yeah. You only have to give the essentials. Yeah. And it's amazing. Like Kathy Ferris, who you had on last week.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, she is. She's my mentor.
Yeah.
And she gave me a tip on writing. She's like, just stream of conscious, just write. Just free write, and then go back and read it and highlight the parts that make you go, you know? Throw everything away. Yeah. Everything else. Those are your beats. Now just stitch them together. Yeah. And so I've been doing that, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's good.
That's kind of like my style.
Now, I have a tremendous amount of gratitude to share for you for getting me involved into the into the podcasting realm. The only reason, I don't want this to go to your head now, but the only reason I am here doing this Hustle Baby podcast.
I'm not your father. Oh, okay.
And I'm not looking for money. The only reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because you gave me a chance. And that's a pretty awesome thing. And, so
put that on my tombstone.
He gave me a chance.
I did something.
But what I'm trying to do, because you basically paid it forward to me, right, by kind of showing me the ropes and doing all of this.
Yep.
Because all I had was an idea, and you had an idea and turned it into something, and then you helped me turn that into something. And so now I'm taking that, which I took from you, and I am doing this podcast to help other people and give them a chance. And so it's really neat that it's come full circle today. And so anyway, so for that, I want to thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me as your, 11th guest?
You are episode 11. Yeah.
11 on the depth chart, huh? Not
well,
I wasn't leading off. You know, didn't win place or show.
Listen,
didn't even make a top 10.
But you could be the season finale.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, okay.
All right. So anyway, I want to thank you for that. How did you get into the podcast game? Like where did that come from?
Well, I live here in Medfield, but all the comedy is in Boston.
Yeah.
And when I was getting into it in like 2018, the kids were young, and we were working, so it was hard to do. But I would get out once or twice a week anyway. But I wanted more, and I needed like we were just talking about that open mic kind of thing. And I just thought, well, let's just create our own opportunities.
Yeah.
So that's where we are here. And I thought, well, what do we talk about? And then, me and a friend, Mike Page, who used to work here, used to work with MAP, the Medfield after school program.
Yeah.
He and I, and then eventually Kathy Ferris, just started talking about whatever bugged us throughout the week. And then basically what we do now.
Yeah, of course. Right.
Yep. But they've moved on. Mike made bad decisions in life. He wanted to get married. What's up, Mike?
How did you figure everything out?
Research.
Yeah.
We live in the information age. This is before Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Gather around. Let me tell you, we only had the internet. It was just,
trial and error.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we need good quality sound. That's what I researched. Like, how do you get, I want the people that listen to hear effort. Yeah. I want them to hear quality, and the people behind this show put time and effort into it and money. Like, they're putting stock into it. They're investing into it. Yeah. So it started out as a hobby, but it's taken off. And the stand-up comedy, same. My kids are older, so now I said to my wife, look, like, I'm leaning into this. So now I have a website. Did I mention this? It's rickfinkjr.com. And I got like dates on there and a video of, a clip. I changed that around. But it's like a job. Like, I have to be accountable to people. I get emails about, like, money's being exchanged. And, it's 150 people expect the Saturday night to go well. And I'm part of that. And I take that seriously. Yeah.
Why don't you tell everyone what are we doing June 6th? What is that all about?
Well, June 6th, we're going to be at the Zulo Gallery. It's going to be a live show, and we're going to have Kathy Ferris as our special guest. She's a Boston-based comic. You can watch her Dry Bar comedy special. Go to gocorkyourself.com. Oh, you already did this last week. Check her out. She's from Medfield.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's my neighbor.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Like it's fate. It honestly, like, this was intentional. Like, I have to take advantage of this friendship that was presented to me in this world. It's no accident. Like, I believe in this stuff.
I totally agree.
Kathy's now getting a restraining order. Yeah. She's like, there's a dude 7 houses down professing his love for me, and I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're going to have a 50-foot rule with Kathy.